All right, good morning. So today we're going to be talking about the mentor cycle that we do with Palm Beach County Schools. Remember, if you're a first-year teacher, you will have to go through the mentor cycle. This also means if you have a temporary certificate as well. So let's first talk about the differences between coaching and mentoring. When you're coaching, it's a little bit different than mentoring. When you're coaching, it's task-oriented, it's short-term, it's explicit feedback, developing skills driven by yourself to that person, and showing where that person may have went wrong, a lot more criticism. Mentoring, however, is a lot more longer term. You could have a mentor for life. You're giving intuitive feedback, developing capabilities. It's driven by that person that you're working with instead of just you. There are many people in schools that help new teachers. Each person plays a significant role. What do you notice the differences between? Well, you can tell from there. So let's talk about questions for determining the type of support. Now, depending on the person that you have for your mentor or mentee-ship, you will learn the type of person that they are and what their struggles are, what's the most pressing issue at that time, what do you wish you would know right now, what do you wish you would have to support you, what is making your job difficult right now, what can I provide that would make your life easier right now. It's driven by the mentee. So you are, as a responsible mentor, to ask these questions to your mentee because they may sometimes not tell you what's wrong. Maybe it's a classroom management issue. Maybe it's a data issue. Maybe they don't know how to give an assessment on Unify. Okay, so again, these are the questions that you would be asking your mentor or mentee, and making sure that they are comfortable knowing what to do. Here are some types of support. We got physical support, emotional support, instructional support, and institutional support. So all of this is the 4 types of support that you should be giving. Sorry guys. All right, so here's the mentorship cycle. Okay, so every time you start a cycle, you're always planning. Okay, we're planning. In the plan period, we have a pre-observation conference. We have lesson planning and we're setting goals each time. Now again, there's 4 cycles a year. So each time we start a cycle, you're going to do these steps. First, you're going to plan. So the first one I know for sure is learning environment. So you're talking about classroom management, how the class is set up, etc. Then you're going to teach. So then your mentor will observe you and learn how to co-teach and help you model those skills. And then you're going to analyze. So you're looking through the data, feedback from your observations, student work, and then you are going to reflect on it. So you should always have a pre-observation and a post-observation with your mentor after each cycle. Now a cycle is usually around every 2 months. So the mentor cycle is a problem-solving process used to address areas of concern. Again, you'll use the FEEPS as a model of what you should be looking for each cycle. The mentoring cycle institution support scenario. When I think of institutional, I think of Franklin Academy. If you're new to Franklin Academy, what is something that you need to know about it itself, the policies, procedures, all that good stuff. So you got to read through the following scenarios. Each provides a sample of the mentoring cycle that is different type of support. So we're going to go through those supports. Institutional support, again, is all about that institution. Franklin Academy is the institution. The plan. The mentee expresses questions about how to get involved at the school, district, or community level. Expresses interest in conference opportunities or professional organizations, or asks questions or offers suggestions regarding collaboration time. This could be getting involved in a committee or helping set up for any type of school events. How do you get involved in any type of council, PTO? Those are types of ways a new teacher could get involved with the community, with the school. So again, we're making sure that the mentor knows exactly what goes on in that institution will help that mentee. For the next one, we see here the scenario. We teach. Now again, we're going through those steps each time. Teach. The mentor provides a list of professional organizations or conferences. You as a mentor would provide your mentee all the different types of organizations, councils, committees that they could go on. You're then going to analyze, look which one suits best. Maybe it's depending on the benefits or the cost. or the time associated. Some councils will require more time than others, and then reflect. So then now we're going to go to another scenario. The mentee expresses concern about interactions with parents or students, asks questions about content or teaching strategies, or has difficulties with pacing, student engagement, classroom management. Again, instructional support is different than institutional. This is more of the instructional piece. So again, interactions with parents or students. How do I contact a parent? What is the protocol for that? Asking questions about teaching strategies and content. Who do I go to? Difficulties with pacing, student engagement, classroom management. Again, as a mentor, you'd be helping those, but also directing them to the instructional coaches and also our curriculum specialist, Ms. Disney. So in this scenario, again, teaching. The mentor visits the mentee's classroom for 10 to 15 minutes and completes a classroom visitation log with the emphasis on student behaviors. That should be the first, I believe, the first thing you should be doing when you have your first observation is your mentor should be coming to you and giving you a classroom visitation log on the first time. You're going to then analyze, you're going to meet with each other, and you're going to review all the data that you saw, what your mentee saw, what your mentor saw, and then you're going to think of some steps leading up to follow that. And then you're going to reflect on what needs to be done and discuss the outcomes or the next steps. All right, so now the emotional support. Again, here's where that comes in, that emotional support that we need sometimes. Mentee expresses difficulty coping, exhaustion, or loneliness, or questions the decision is to become a teacher. It's become, it's an exhausting job. It is for everybody. So we have to always make sure that even though we are professional, we still should be caring about our mentee or our mentor and helping them out during those times when we are coping. Sorry, guys. There it is. All right. This thing's bothering me. The mentor provides encouragement and personal coping strategies. Again, so that's what you should be teaching your mentee. Making sure, breathing in, going out with friends, doing something that makes them happy to help them cope. The mentor and mentee discuss causes and determine appropriate coping strategy and plan for implementation. Commit to a follow-up. So, did that strategy work for you? Let me know, and we'll reflect on it. And then the coping strategy that is implemented and discuss the outcomes. So again, the next step, or maybe something different. Maybe that strategy didn't work for them. Physical support. So that means things, items. The mentee asks questions or expresses concerns regarding supplies, materials, classroom setup, or technology. Those things need physical work. Lifting up a desk, moving chairs, rearranging a room. What works best for my classroom? Can you come to my classroom and see what works? So in this scenario, here's how this would play out. Teach. The mentor provides assistance with arranging technology setup. So classroom computers. Maybe your class has a set of iPads. Your mentor can help you set that up for you, or ask IT for more of that reason. The mentee and mentor review technology tools to determine needs and usage and commit to a follow-up. So what do you need? Maybe I'm missing a cord. Maybe you're missing a computer mouse. Okay, make a list of things that you may need. Now reflecting, the mentee practices the use of technology tools and follows up with mentor with questions, concerns, and discoveries. Again, mentors, you should always be checking in with things like that. Does your computer work? Do you still have internet? All that good stuff. The documentation of each cycle, again, there's 4 of them in a year. You see, this is your actual log. You will be having 4 of these filled out throughout this year. So again, those steps, the plan, the teach, the analyze, the reflect, this is what you would be filling out. The mentee will document this process each month using the mentoring cycle reflection log. So again, even though it says each month, it's really around 4 times in the month that you will be documenting this. So every type of meeting you have needs to be logged in. All these, the plan, the teaching, everything, just like how I just explained it, needs to be almost the exact same thing. Okay. Here's a mentee sample. So you would fill out your name, the place you go to, all that good stuff. The FEEPS focus, again, there's that list on the drive of what focus is on. The first one is always going to be the learning environment. So that's about classroom setup, management, all that good stuff. So the thoughts, summary, this is what the mentee would look like. I want to make sure my classroom teaching center, I want to make it really nice, but I don't know where to start, you know, and then your mentee should be giving you advice, all the conversations you're having with your plan, your teach, your analyze, all that stuff. So you're making sure from top to bottom that the entire conversation or the whole plan that you have is recorded down. Now, mentors. Looks like the exact same thing. Again, the mentor will focus on reflection and the work done for the mentee's ESP course. Focus on the work. Only reflect on the parts of the cycle that were completed, while all should strive to complete at least one cycle per month. It's not required. Again, like I said, it's only 4 times a month that you'll have to turn it in. So, for mentors, this is what yours is going to look like. It's a lot smaller. It's not as, you know, I guess, how would you say, involved. But you would be writing your reflections about what you met during your meeting when you met with your mentor, or mentee, sorry. So mentees, you know, making sure that they have those done, you would make sure that yours is done too. This is part of the ESP program, so you need to be making sure that you're doing those too as well. All you're doing is your reflections and your notes related. So again, it's about classroom management, reflecting on the plan that you did on the learning environment, classroom management, all that good stuff. All right, so here's another mentor sample. Again, it's much shorter than the other for the mentees. So making sure you're putting in your personal notes throughout each time, just like your mentees. It's with your reflections and your notes. Make sure you fill that out. All right, classroom visitation log. This is the log that I was talking about in the beginning of the presentation. We provide a classroom visitation log in the course, so you have to look it's on the drive, and you are going to do this log when you visit your classroom for the mentee the first time. The classroom visit is not required. However, I think to know what I need to work on as a mentee, I would want to know. So I would want my mentor to come in my room for the first time and see what I need to do. Am I following this? Maybe it's something I need. Again, it's always it's a good, you know, thing for mentees. They need to know what they need to do. So growing stronger, if we create a culture where every teacher believes they need to improve, not because they are not good enough, but because they can be even better. There is no limit to what we can achieve. So again, it's a two-way street. You gotta be making sure that your needs are both met. Okay, if I'm leaving my mentee and not talking to her or not checking in with her, and I'm just, you know, kind of playing with her and not really figuring out what she really needs, then we're not, you know, she's not going to benefit from this program. And that's the point of having this. Especially as someone who's new to Franklin, you too, making sure that your your mentor is helping you with those procedures for dismissal, attendance, everything. So making sure that your mentee knows what to do, protocols and such, and helping with their classroom management and just being there for each other and being a role model. Sorry, guys.
No.
Feedback matters. Feedback is a powerful tool. So again, your feedback matters. Self-reflection and making sure that everything is honest. Be honest with your colleagues. Be honest with them. And making sure that they're okay. You know when they're not okay. I can tell you that for sure. All right. Again, more of the conceptual mentoring framework. The mentor stance or methods should always depend on the needs. Again, you're always looking towards needs. I know as a mentor, I've known I want to kind of help that person out based on my problems I've had, but you really need to be making sure you're going towards their needs, not just yourself or giving them advice, because your problems could not be the same as theirs maybe. It could be totally different. All right, language. Making sure you're using appropriate language when you're talking with your mentee. Showing that you care, clarifying, you know, making sure you're always rephrasing things but not being condescending. Clarifying, yes, that's when that project is due. Making sure they are kind of focusing on what they need to focus, problem solving. Also being non-judgmental. It's hard because if we've been here for, 5 years and that person's only here for 1 year and they don't know everything, we can't be judgmental of them. All right. And then the feedback, make sure it's planned. Make sure to celebrate, consider, coach, critically plan. All ESP mentors are encouraged to use the crucial conversations protocol to plan the feedback given to mentees. This is, if you don't know how to say something to your mentee, make sure you follow this. If you don't know how to go about some ways, just look through this protocol. Okay, document your feedback. The feedback for any classroom visit should be documented as part of the month's reflective log. So again, this is not a requirement, but if you're having those problems, clarifying or wondering what to consider or how to coach, this should be helpful for you. Okay, submitting your documentation. These are, again, the 4 times. You're going to take one in October, December, March, and then June. So you're going to upload, each of you, your own separate cycle file, and then you'll be making sure that that's sitting on the Blackboard. Reminders. 1 log per month, but it's really 4. Uploading those reflection logs. Focus on the work. Only reflect on the parts of the cycle that are completed, while you should strive to complete at least 1 cycle per month, but it's not required. Your voluntary lead mentor is the best source. So Ms. Wilhelm is the best source for you if you need any of those questions regarding ESP, and if you need some support from the district, here's the email. And then that's it.